Okay, so all right, so that is a waistband, and now we're gonna move on to measuring the short bit. Right. So, okay, now let's go back to our measurement, right? And the thing is, the first measurement that I'm gonna add is actually a stick, basically. Remember that. Uh, remember that the last time on the last stream that I said that you will only need two measurement tools. One is a circle, which we already created, and the other one, which we haven't we haven't created, is a stick, basically, right? And yeah, now we've got our stick. So I'm gonna duplicate it. I'm gonna make it as the stock, and we're gonna move it up, and we're gonna use our waistband. So the thing is, you should like how your waistband looks like first before moving on to make the short bit. So you need that because we're gonna base our measurement with that. Our measurement of the short with our waistband. So yeah, now we're gonna the first thing that we're gonna measure is the length, basically, right? So what we can do is that we can just get the middle bit, the middle point, and we're gonna just extrude it, and we're gonna push it down, right? So that is gonna be where the crotch is gonna be, more or less, and yeah, that's where the crotch is gonna be, and we're gonna add maybe 21. Okay, 21 seems good, and we could probably make it 22 later, but however, that is good enough. And now we're gonna extrude it again, and we're gonna decide where the the hem of the leg, which is this one, is gonna be. So the thing is, I'm gonna make short, so that thing will be very short indeed. So, however, you will see that, well, this, we got the butt cheeks, and you got the butt crease, right? And you would want your short to at least cover that bit, right? You don't want anything shorter than that, because if that's the case, you're gonna expose your butts to everyone. So that's not what you want. And so the length of I should figure out a name for that. The length of the leg bit should at least cover your butt crease. Basically, that's the minimum of that. So yeah, I think make it 26, right? So 26 seems like a good approximation, right? And yeah, I guess that's good enough for now. And okay, so that is our stick. We can actually delete this. Actually, so now we've got that measurement, that vertical measurement. That is the most important bit that you should make right now. Okay, now with that done, the next thing that we're gonna do is actually the second most important thing is actually to start measuring the crotch, right? So for that, I'm gonna use our plane, all right, and I'm gonna move it to the front, right at that waistband, basically. Okay, that's skewed a little bit to the right, and that's fine. And yeah, now we're gonna start measuring. So let's put it somewhere around. So yeah, that is the trick, basically. So you got this is the crotch bit, right? And you can delete the leg bit, and you can just move it across the Y, and you can place it somewhere in the middle of the thigh, basically, right? And that is gonna be yeah, that's gonna be about right. I think maybe here. Right, so that is kind of in the middle of the thigh, basically. So another one, you can extrude that, and we just basically put it right on the another seam, the middle seam of the back, basically. And that is how you put the first three vertices of the crotch measurement. And here's the divide. I'm gonna just start, I'm just gonna start shaping this bit so that it kind of looks a little bit, so it kind of wraps around the hip well, right? Okay, so yeah, basically I'm just gonna weld the thing, and just make sure that it is like a half, so because that's gonna be a good way to start it, and just make sure that it's nice and round. Um, mhm. Okay. Okay, now it's nice. It has a nice shape, and yeah, so that is your crotch measurement, right? And it wraps around the crotch very well, and yeah, that looks very great. Right, so that is our crotch measurement. And the next thing that we're gonna measure is this bit, right? So I'm gonna duplicate another circle. I'm gonna put it up. So so that is our, where is our, okay, so that is our thing, right? So okay, so we're gonna put our 3D cursor there, and I'm gonna selection the cursor, right? So the third most important measurement that you can take is that connection between the crotch line and then the thigh bit, the leg bit, right? That's gonna be the most important measurement that we're gonna do next. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna wrap it. First of all, I'm gonna make it smaller, right? And I'm gonna make it smaller in X, and but let's make it wider in Y. And yeah, let's see if it works all right. And go shrink wrap. Let's select the body. Project negative. Okay, that looks okay. 5 millimeter. Oh, that bit is screwed up. I think I'm gonna modify it a little bit. Right? Just make it to the left or to the right, actually, depending on where you see it. Okay, just make it a little bit. So it is outside the butt. And yeah. So let's try shrink wrap again. And now it's very good. Right? And yeah. So we have done that, and let's just duplicate it, and we're gonna move it down to measure our thigh, basically. So this is, I think this one is 6 centimeters and 5 centimeters. So I think we can just do that. And just go 5 centimeters. Okay, so that checks out, and yeah. So by the way, of course, I mean, like, should you measure the hip? Okay, just let's do it. I'm gonna show you. Right. So let's put the hip. Right. So where do you put the hip? Right. So that is the question. The thing is, where you put the hip. I mean, like, there's not a lot of, you know, a guideline on where actually you should put the hip, but because that whole thing is basically the hip, And of course, I mean, like if you ask people where should you put the hip measurement, they will say that, well, just put it on the widest area of, the hip. So, but that is, it's more or less very useful. But the thing is, what I found to be a very good place to put the the hip measurement is actually right in the middle point between the top bit, the one that connects to the waistband, and then the crotch. So let's just do that and do our shrink wrap. Just do project negative and 5 millimeters. Okay. So yeah, I guess that's all measurement that you will need. And so I'm gonna tell you why. Yeah, I mean, like it's always good to have the measurement of the hip, but you will see that why it's not actually necessary, right? So I'm gonna apply the shrink wrap, apply the shrink wrap, apply the shrink wrap, right? And you're gonna open our notepad. So first of all, I'm gonna take that measurement as well, right? So second, I'm gonna show how it goes. So our crotch is 21 centimeters down. So waist to crotch is 21 centimeters, and then our crotch to thigh is 5 centimeters, right? And that is the first important thing. And the second important thing is the crotch line. So our crotch line is, let's just hide it for now, is 58, maybe 59, right? 59? Yeah, we can just write it up. So crotch line is 59 centimeters. And the thing is, I'm gonna divide this into two. Remember that we put that middle bit here. So the reason why I put it here is because so that we can measure the front bit, this one, and then the back bit. So the thing is, the back crotch will always be bigger than the front one, basically. So we're gonna have different draft between the front and the back, basically. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So first of all, let's just like this, and let's resegment that, and it's fine. We've got 27, so we can make it 27 by the rest. It's gonna be 32, right? 32 centimeters, and that is our front and back ratio, crotch circumference ratio. So okay, we got our crotch line, and then this is the third most important bit. And let's segment that, and we've got 60, right? So basically crotch, not crotch. What is it? Crotch line, probably crotch, but that's not crotch line. I think this one is crotch circumference, and this is crotch line, right? Crotch. Let's just call it crotch to thigh circumference. I'm not really sure what it's called yet, but that's the thing, right? That thing is basically the thing that connects the thigh to the crotch of the hip. Basically, so if you take that, let's do this. Sorry, let's type this one. You will see that bit. This is basically the crotch to thigh line. So yeah, I mean, it is a crotch line basically. So yeah, I think it is actually a crotch line, and that one is, we can call it crotch circumference, but yeah, whatever. I just gotta call it crotch to thigh circumference. But I think it's crotch line. Let's just call it crotch line, right? So yeah, so that's the crotch line, and that one is the thigh circumference. The thigh circumference. This is 54. By the way, you should be able to divide that by 4, basically. You should be able to divide the whole thing, the whole measurement, that bit, with 4, just for the sake of easiness, basically. So 54 cannot be divided by 4, if you will notice that. But we can do with 56, actually. You can divide by 4 to get 14 centimeters, right? And yeah, same thing with this. You will get 15 centimeters, right? And the last bit, this is where I got to explain why the hip line, the hip circumference, is more or less, I mean, it's good to have it, but it's not strictly necessary, right? I'm just going to decrease that hook going into the butt crack, and I'm going to measure it. Okay, so that is 87. We can divide by 4 by 88, probably. Hip circumference, right? 88 centimeters. You can divide by 4, that's 22 centimeters, basically. Okay, so 22 centimeters, basically, and yeah, we can do that. And yeah, I guess that's it for the measurement, right? And we're gonna do the crotch line, but there's one information that you should know about the crotch, right? So the thing is, there is this thing called C, basically. The thing about seat is basically how long. So I mean, like if you try to rotate this bit, so this is angled, just like I mentioned earlier that the hip is angled in a certain degrees, 10 to 15 degrees, and so if we rotate it back 15 degrees, you will start to know, you start to see that the crotch is kind of a straight line, and then it's gonna curve. You got the straight and curve, right? The same thing with the front. You gotta go straight down, and then it curve. Yeah, there's a bit of bump here, but basically you can say that it is a straight line, and then it's gonna go, phew, you're gonna go curve in, right? So yeah, that's the thing that we're gonna measure actually. So for this, for the front bit, I see that this. So if you rotate it back by 15 degrees, you will see that this. So that is edge number 3, or vertex number 4. This is the seat length, right? And for the back, this is the seat length. So back, actually, we don't need to use this. Actually, let's see. Should we use it? I don't think so. So we can just take it. So yeah, let's just do it, right? So let's delete all segment. Okay, so you see that we've got 18 centimeters. So let's see, front is 18 centimeters, and then the back is 14 centimeters, right? Sorry. Back, seat back is how much? 14 centimeters, right?